What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here. Listo Junior Week. That means we're covering artists with fewer than five records. Today we're talking about Judee Sill, who's got only two. We have her self-titled debut from 71 and her album Heart Food from 1973. She was the first artist signed to David Geffen's Asylum Records, and she OD'd in 1979. I know you're a big Judee fan, bigger than I, so.
Yes, this will be my Nick Drake moment. I'm sure you'll get plenty out of Nick there. For me, Judee Sill is just like one of those ultimate exists on a different plane of existence, basically. Just unreplicable. I don't know how you say that. Irreplicable. Very unique. I'll say that. In just everything she did, her lyrics, her guitar playing, her arrangements. I don't know, she's up there with Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell as far as like a talent that was just beyond comprehension in some ways. So I'll try to do her justice. I know she's gotten a little more renown recently. There's a documentary. I don't know if it's out on her. It might be coming out soon. And she was one of those artists, kind of got lost in the shuffle back in the early 70s. She was kind of a pain in the ass, apparently. I guess she got dropped from Asylum because she supposedly called David Geffen a homophobic slur. I don't know if that's true or not. It's sort of uh, part of the mythology around her. She didn't want to be an opening act. Kind of like a Sandy Denny. She really thought she was going to be like, beyond famous, just massive, and it never quite worked out. And I kind of see why. And I'll jump into her second album, which is my second favorite, Heart Food from 1973, which I really can't decide which album I like better, but I'll say this is my second favorite because this is the second one I kind of came across. And I own it. I own both of hers on vinyl. Had to get them both. This one, similar to her debut. A lot of Christian symbolism on this album, just like her first one. At this point, she was sort of like already out of favor with the labels and stuff. So the recording's a little messier. There's some spots where there's like almost static, I think, and like maybe something clipped out. But the tunes are magnificent, just like her first album. It's this brew of country rock, gospel, folk. She was a big Bach kind of acolyte. So all of these melodies just sound so classic, so amazing. She's got an amazing voice that's very like matronly, like school marm type, like perfect pitch, beautiful voice, but she doesn't show off much. It's very sort of like in the her range. She's not like busting out. She's not like a Joni Mitchell where she's doing all these flights of fancy. Ridge Rider, the opener, very familiar country folk jaunt that wouldn't be out of place on her debut. The Kiss, track two, is just one of my favorite tunes of all time. Celestial Searching masterpiece. Reminds me of like a Brian Wilson tune in the arrangement. A big lush orchestra in there. She brings in this biblical imagery, this cosmic imagery, and just the ability for her to be catchy, memorable, and complex, I think is just so impressive. Just everything she does. I heard Fleet Foxes cover this song, and they do a nice job. But just the way she sings it and the cadence and her vocals is just so important to the flow that it's just one of those songs I don't think is really coverable. Uh, some more country gospely numbers. Down Where the Valleys Are Low. There's this busy organ, some strong backing vocals. It's mostly on this and the first album, just her guitar, piano, on occasion, orchestration. So it's very stripped down, very intimate. A lot of songs, Rapture, Redemption, big focus here. Some great players on here: Chris Etheridge, Blind Burrito Brothers, Jim Gordon, the murderer, and fantastic drummer from Derek and the Dominoes, Doug Dillard, Buddy Emmons. Um, Only appear on a couple of tracks, but when they do, things pick up. If you don't like the solo acoustic piano stuff, there's songs like Soldier of the Heart, which is a little more boisterous and alive. And the other masterpiece of masterpieces, the incredible The Donor, penultimate track. Just another song. You get hints of it on the Kiss, but like the complexity in the music and the vocal arrangements are just so unbelievable. Like Brian Wilson level um, uh, arrangements. 8 minutes long. It's got this resolute opening piano and just repetition until it bursts into this just I don't even know. It's basically a religious experience. She's dropping in Kyrie eleisans in the chorus. It's I don't know. It's like an angel speaking to you. It just doesn't sound like anything else I've ever heard in popular music. Maybe Bach wrote something like this, but I think it's just really incredible for a sophomore effort. This album, the way she was able to handle everything. She did the orchestrations and the arrangements. And to come out like this, her imagery, cinematic and grandiose and complex, using Christian symbolism in a way that I don't think anyone else ever did it quite like her. Bob Dylan would be the only one, I think, who would rival her as far as like the way she brought in the symbolism and theology into her lyrics. So yeah, I think I like Judee Sill a lot. This is 5-star album for me and only number two.
Well, I don't have nearly that much to say, and I don't like Judee Sill nearly as much as you do. For me, she's like this interesting discovery of like past music, and there's all kinds of artists like this, like Nick Drake being one of them, who we're going to talk about later, where they didn't have really much success in their time, and then over time have become just heralded. And Judy is one where, for me, it's kind of cool that to discover this thing that wasn't really well known, and then like it's always nice when there's like something from that era that I love so much to like that, oh, there's this other thing that I haven't touched on yet. So for me, it's cool in that way to like get another little piece of the 70s to dig into. Uh, but for me, I don't think I think there's a reason she didn't explode the way so many of her contemporaries did. And I don't connect with her voice. That's mainly the thing. I know that you're just like in love with it. And for me, it's very kind of average. For me, my number two, my lesser favorite of these records is the self-titled, because I think it leaves her voice a little more exposed. It's more stripped back, and it's there's less layering going on. I think on Heart Food, she's doing more vocal layering, more harmonies, lusher arrangements, and I think all of that helps her. It gives That's kind of where her strength lies, I think. And her just singing to me is just a little one-dimensional. The Christian religious aspects are cool. I think maybe she overdoes it a little. It's like almost every song, but yeah, to me, uh, debut record number two, it's a 3.5 star. I think it's good. And I wouldn't say like I don't like her voice or anything. I think she's a good singer, but like I don't think she like ascends to the realms of like the all-time greats for me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that was one of the reasons. I mean, she doesn't have like a Kate Bush, Sandy Denny type like magical voice. It's almost ordinary to the point of being, for me anyway, extraordinary because she doesn't sing like anyone else. She has this kind of odd drawl and accent that she's from California, so, but I don't think I would have figured that based on the way she sings. Like it's very like I don't know, like Midwestern church service type of vocals. And I just find that super interesting. She does more harmonies and layering and multi-tracking on Heart Food for sure. But Judee Sill, self-titled, 1971, another five star for me. Uh, First one I heard Jesus Was a Crossmaker, probably randomly on Spotify after listening to like a Sandy Denny song or something that some 70s female singer I was listening to somehow segued into Jesus Was a Crossmaker. And it was kind of another Wuthering Heights moment for me where I was like, what the hell is this? I need to hear more. So, explored, looked her up on Spotify, just fell in love. And she was, I mean, I do get why she wasn't popular between like sort of the ordinary type singing, the stripped back nature of the songs, the Christian symbolism just kind of overwhelming everything. Like it doesn't scream like, oh my God, like how did the public miss this one? It's kind of like, yeah, you get why she was sort of this lost gem, this lost classic that you could see and feel and hear the talent, but it just didn't, it was never going to connect with the general audience. Like it just wasn't going to happen. The way she was playing and writing these songs. But yeah, like you said, she was first artist signed to Asylum, David Geffen's sort of, I don't know what it was, his sort of like pet music label with all the other folkies and stuff. Um, and it's just this really interesting, unique, between the Christian symbolism and all the lyrics, the very plain spoken vocals, very sparse arrangements, just so simple, so unwilling to oversing and overdo things. But to me, it's like discovering like an unknown singer in an empty coffee shop or a sparsely attended church somewhere in the Midwest where you just can feel the power and the talent radiating off of her. Just the intimate way she's able to write these songs and perform them. Um, she described the music as country cult baroque, which I think makes sense. I love her vocabulary on these songs, the way she weaves together the Christian and the cosmic and the mythical into this really vivid imagery. In a way, like I said, she's on the same level as like Joni Mitchell's kind of humanism and Bob Dylan's esoteric ramblings, as far as like just giving me a picture when she sings. And musically, she loved Bach. And even though a lot of the stuff is just stripped down, just a guitar, just great melodies all over the place. There's a bunch of strings and symphonic elements overdubbed, some great vocal harmonies. She had sold a song to the Turtles, Lady O. She was working as a songwriter for them for a little bit, and she got hooked up with like, Crosby, Stills, Nash guys. Uh, the big tune on here is Jesus Was a Crossmaker, which is like a fuller, more distinct country rock sound. It was produced by Graham Nash, and it has like a full band, and David Crosby's on there playing guitar, and Graham's playing organ on it. And it's, the biggest outlier, I think, in her catalog is it's a big, busting, uh, almost rock song. She wrote it for J.D. Souther, who she was dating, and I don't know, he pissed her off. She, as J.D. Souther would recount, she came over to my house at about 7 or 8 in the morning, pounded on the door, woke me up, came in, sat on my bed, and said, "This is for you," very sourly. Then she played it for me, which I think is a fun little story. I think J.D. Souther was dating Linda Ronstadt as well at the time, so quite the ladies' man, J.D. Souther. Balancing those two fine, outstanding women. Song-wise, I just like everything on here. I love her style. Enchanted Sky Machines kind of picks up with a rollicking piano and horns. Could have been like a Carole King type if she'd wanted to. Lady O's gorgeous. That's the one she sold to the Turtles. She just has this soft, supple way of singing. Jesus was a Crossmaker's great. It's just this really cool, really unique, uh, mostly acoustic um, album that just doesn't really sound like anything else I've ever heard. And yeah, she was not successful, and she either killed herself or overdosed on heroin after years of obscurity. But definitely listen to her two albums. There's a demo album as well, Songs of Rapture and Redemption, where it's even more stripped down. It's just the demos and the solo stuff, a couple of her live. It is really super impressive. She was a great performer as well, just a perfect voice, great guitarist. So yeah, listen to Judee Sill. She's great. I love her.
My preferred Judee Sill record is the second one, Heart Food, for the same reasons that I already touched upon. I think it's a little more produced, more vocal layering, more musicianship happening around her, fuller, fleshed out arrangements. I think there's a little bit more, like the melodies to me feel a little more Baroque, a little more of that Bach influence coming in. And I think that helps. The first record is a little more folk centered. Um, so yeah, all of those things I think just make it a more interesting listen. Yeah, I prefer that. I like some of the music performances, and there's things to listen to other than her voice. There's guitars and organ and cool other sounds to latch onto a bit. So yeah, that's my favorite Judee Sill record. Also, 3.5 stars. Top songs.
Number five, there's a rugged road. First song on Heart Food. Just a great country tinged folk song. I love the pedal steel. Love her vocals. Just, what she did really well. I think her core sound, I think, can be found on this tune.
My number five is When the Bridegroom Comes. This, contrary to what I've been saying, is a little
Yeah.
more stripped back. It's just piano and voice, but I really like the chord changes on it, and I think the piano playing is great. I don't know if it's either her or Spooner Oldham playing the piano. But yeah, just lovely.
Yeah, the most stripped down song in her whole catalog. Uh, my number four is gonna be Down Where the Valleys Are Low, but I'm gonna go with the demo version from Songs of Rapture and Redemption. The one on Heart Food is a little more produced. There's these backing vocals that I don't know if they totally match the mood of the song. That the demo version's a little sparser, a little more downcast. Um, but once you strip everything away and just go to the song, just the very bones, basics of the tune, it's just incredible. It's an amazing song. The chord progressions, the melody in her voice, just it's unbelievable. You got to listen to it.
My number four is My Man on Love. I really like the layered vocal approach on this song. Really strong melody, simple classic singer-songwriter form to it. Yeah, good one.
My number three, I'm gonna go with Jesus Was a Crossmaker, song she wrote for J.D. Souther to shame him. Love the lyrics, love the imagery. I don't exactly know the metaphor or the simile of Jesus was a crossmaker, but it's evocative and it makes me think, and I've been thinking about it for a year and a half since I heard the song. Produced by Graham Nash. It's got a little more life, a little more liveliness to it, full band, great performances. It's a killer tune.
My number three is There's a Rugged Road. I like the shift in this one from the verse to the chorus. The verse has like fiddle and like this kind of like horse galloping type of percussion going on. Um, and then, the harmonies just come in the chorus and the whole thing kind of takes off.
Number two, The Donor, penultimate track from Heart Food. Just a masterpiece of composition, arrangement, all the little vocal parts going off. It's Brian Wilson-esque in the way that she controls and has everything just chiming in at the perfect time. 8.5 minutes, just this epic piece. Another one that never heard anything else even close to this in any popular music other than, maybe like a Cabin Essence or something like that, Surfs Up, where it's just this, you know, Bach level piece of composition with all these little parts. It's magnificent.
My number two, I also have Down Where the Valley Are Low, but mine is the album version. I've never heard the demo version, but I think it's a really cool tune. It's kind of gospel-y and it's got really great organ and vibraphone happening in it. And like you said, backing vocals, but I enjoyed the backing vocals. I wrote that as a positive.
Hey, I like the backing vocals on there as well. It's just hearing it stripped down is a whole nother experience. My number one, easily The Kiss, which is my number two or three favorite song of 1973. Just an absolute masterpiece. The imagery, the stars bursting in the sky, hear the sad Nova's dying cry. Shimmering memory, come and hold me. Will you show me how to fly? I think it's just really cool lyrics. The big lush orchestration, the piano, the mood, the way it builds, ebbs and flows, just, this celestial searching masterpiece. Well, one of my favorite songs of all time.
My number one is Soldier of the Heart, which it has one of her most full arrangements. There's a lot going on musically, and I don't think it was a single. I think it should have been. I think if there's a song in her catalog that could have pushed her to more mainstream success, probably that one, and maybe should have been pushed a little more. All right, let us know what you think of Judee Sill in the comments, what your favorite songs are, which album you prefer. And check back for our Nick Drake episode. We'll be ranking his three records and giving you our favorite songs of his. Check the video description for links to our Patreon. We're doing stuff over there all the time. You can request classic album reviews. We're also doing song reactions over there now if you want to get us to listen to a song. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one.